If you aren't the mole and you're looking to play the perfect game, you're going to need a lot more than seeing the lights turn green at the end of it. Much, much more. Hello there, I'm Trevor Beast, and today I'll be going over what it takes to play the perfect game as a regular contestant, aka not the mole, in Jubilee's Odd One Out series, formerly known as Odd Man Out. Last week, I released a video covering the perfect game as the mole, so it only makes sense to create the inverse topic this time around. Throughout 62 episodes of this series, from Beyonce fans to bisexuals, we've seen well over 300 contestants as non-mole players. There's been an episode with 0 non-moles, an episode with only 2 non-mole contestants, and then there have been ones with 7 and even 8 non-mole contestants in them. Plus, there was that family episode where there were 6 non-mole families, making it a total of 20 people who weren't a part of the fake family. Thus, the show has accumulated to a sum of 357 non-mole entities and 379 humans who can truthfully say they have played this game as a non-mole contestant. Among those 357, 191 of them reached the end of the game, and 190 if you wish to count Brandon only once because he was a finalist in both the episodes covering Democrats and black people. Now, out of those 191 non-mole entities, 130 of them were able to eliminate the mole, either directly or indirectly. That's the first step to playing a perfect game. Reach the end of the game without the mole being there. The second step is to vote for the mole every time until they are eliminated. That drops our perfect candidates all the way down from 191 to 25 contestants. I won't verbally go down the list, but here are those 25 names and their respective episodes. The third step to playing a perfect game is receiving 0 votes, as no one writes down that contestant's name. Even the mole would not write down the name of this perfect contestant, because the mole would realize that doing so would be a waste of a vote, as they would be the only ones casting it for that person, and subsequently it would only increase the likelihood of the mole getting voted out. So out of our pool of 25, 8 of them receive 0 votes. Now I will honorably commend all 8 of them for passing step 3. In chronological order, we got Michelle from 6 Asians versus 1 secret non-Asian. Kendall from 7 people who had plastic surgery versus 1 who is not. Ilana from 6 Jewish people versus 1 secret non-Jewish person. Cliff from 6 parents versus 1 liar. Both Sonia and Mervant from 6 magicians versus 1 fake magician. Ria from 6 atheists versus 1 secret Christian. And Eileen from 6 Latinos versus 1 fake. That brings us to step 4, which states that the perfect contestant would always choose to continue the game if the mole is still present. All 8 of them easily accomplished this step, as nearly all of them were able to vote the mole out first before even receiving the option to end the game early. Our 5th and final step requires contestants to vote with the majority or plurality every time after the mole has already been eliminated. So when combined with the second step, the perfect contestant voted for the mole from the very beginning until the mole was terminated, and then after that point, each name the player votes for is the person that goes. After eliminating Brianna, Michelle couldn't follow this rule in either round 2 or 3, as she voted for Zoldy both times. To play a perfect game, Michelle would have needed to vote for Chriselle in the second round and then Aaron in the third round. Proceeding to Kendall in the plastic surgery episode, after voting for the mole Whisper 6 twice, Kendall delivered with magnificently voting correctly on that double elimination and then going with Adelaide in the third round. That right there is exemplary and makes Kendall the first ever non-mole to play a perfect game. In the 6 Jewish people video, after the mole Garrett departs in round 2, Ilana votes correctly for Haley in round 3, making her another perfect non-mole. While it's true she couldn't have done any better, I must address that every vote in this episode was conducted with a public show of hands instead of the normal secret ballot. This setting is much easier, as you could quickly look at other people's hands to help you with each voting decision. We now dive into Cliff's voting history, and it was 1 vote short of perfection. Instead of choosing Daniel, Cliff should have voted out Emily initially in round 3, or could have even kept his vote for Daniel in the round 3 revote. Despite its minor nature, this round 3 flip-flop cost him the title of being a perfect non-mole player. Next, we have a pair of magicians, Magician number 2 Sonia and Magician number 7 Mervant, who each performed the same game-related trick, as they both made Joseph and Nico disappear from the Zoom call while granting themselves the treat of perfection. If that's not magic, I don't know what is. Our next candidate is Ria from the Atheism episode. After the mole was voted out, Ria went on to correctly vote for Katie all 3 times in round 3, and then targeted Evan in round 4 to join the non-mole perfection club. Last but certainly not least is the Argentinian Aylin, who continues to surpass all criteria. Aylin bota a Miguel en la primera ronda. Después de eso bota correctamente por Andre dos veces en la segunda ronda y luego bota más en la tercera ronda. Ella jugó perfectamente. There you have it. We have 6 non-moles who achieved the ultimate victory. Congratulations to Kendall, Ilana, Sonia, Mervant, Ria, and Aylin, who went above and beyond the Call of Duty and never made any mistakes when playing this game, at least on paper. If any mole finds themselves standing inside the box or the occasional Zoom call with any of these first-rate sleuths, they should know that they're in for major trouble. Be sure not to receive any votes on your way out, and I hope to see you next time. Wait, you actually received a vote? Well, don't look at me. It's probably the mole who wrote down your name. You really think I'd do that to you? Come on, I'm loyal to the soil. There's no way I'd stab you in the back like that. Not a chance.